Hi, it's Z here. Say that you work in a SME and you've built a spreadsheet tool that uses maybe some proprietary information. So it could be a combination of benchmarks that are private to you and maybe some work that you've put into certain formulas or calculations. Now, whatever it might be, it could be something like maybe you work in the finance sector and it's insurance or some mortgage calculator. Maybe you work in a construction company and it's some sort of price estimator for a quote. Whatever it is, it's something that may be helpful to your clients and maybe even something interesting for potential customers where you can sort of showcase some early work and get them to sort of come in. So the challenge now is how best do you get that across to them? Challenge is there will be people out there who may want to take the stuff that you've made, your hard work in terms of the building that spreadsheet, and maybe take the benchmarks or maybe even pirate the whole thing and then just brand it as their own. So how do you go about distributing the tool that you've created in a way that is still secure, but at the same time giving you some visibility on who's using that file? So in this video series and the Medium article that accompanies it, we'll be looking at a number of options ranging from the very basic native Excel password security, where you slap a password on and you just send the file to people and you give them the password separately. You could get fancy and then maybe automate the password provision through some sort of service like Google Forms, maybe. We'll also look at specialist tools that allow you to do license activation, where you can do things like set a trial period, some sort of limitation on needing to register before you can open it. We'll also look at file storage systems like Google Drive, Dropbox. We'll look at OneDrive specifically in terms of how you can use some of the innate security there to share information but still retain some control. And we'll also look at the more advanced options where you convert the spreadsheet into the base calculation logic, and then you shuck it into a web app. And it can be something that's on a website, maybe it's some sort of a website that can also become a phone app. And in that way, you can manage all the stuff that we talked about in terms of who has access and maybe limit how they use that information even. So the last option has quite a range of solutions. So Microsoft has their native Power Apps, but for the purpose of this video series, we'll be looking at 3 examples, 2 managed services, one from Glide Apps, another one from something called Modify. And lastly, we'll also look at a Python Flask app that I've built, that's sort of a DIY version of this. So hopefully this is giving you a bit of an overview, because what we'll be covering is everything from a simple spreadsheet. So this is the spreadsheet we'll be using. The exact nature of the spreadsheet doesn't matter for now, but suffice to say it is a calculator app where I've used something that calculates contagion spread of a disease. And whenever you key in some sort of value, then the curves change. And this is just an example. It could be any app in real life, and we're going to take you through everything from the file itself to solutions where, example, maybe you've got some sort of lock version. So this is the other option where there is a piece of software that stops you from trying to use it because you need to put in activation key like this. To other solutions like a managed service that allows you to actually put your spreadsheet onto some sort of website and immediately see, let's try and do this, I think it should work, and immediately see the results without having to do too much coding, to also a DIY option that I've built myself, where you can basically do the same thing, except you have a bit more control because it's your own website. Yeah. So I'm going to try and leave as much of the examples as possible. I've got a GitHub page that I'll put all the relevant code, and I'll park all the files in a OneDrive OneDrive folder, I'm sorry, and put it in here as well. So if you're interested, then read on.